Some would like to say that the Department of Defense budget is absolutely bigger than it's ever been, and well, that's just not true. And you look at the share of the economy and on the total force spending, the budget is actually near historic lows, representing 3% of America's GDP, 14.3% of the discretionary funding of the government. And in historical terms, to put it this way, this is a quarter of what we were during the Korean War, a third of what we did in the Vietnam War, and about half of what we were doing in the 1980s in the defense buildup. So such sequestration is on everybody's mind, and then if it does return, the Commandant has absolutely been emphatic with Congress that the Marine Corps would be unable to meet its national defense strategic objectives as put out in that guidance. So we have that as a backdrop. I think we just need to recognize where we are financially and make the right decisions, and I think that's why General Neller takes a guard stock on how he balances those money, the people being the most important, readiness that is absolutely necessary, and how to do simulation and training, and then looking at ways to modernize that force. Very, very important to us. So let me just take a quick turn real quick and talk about our current fight. It's my humble opinion that the world is not safer than we were 5 years ago. An emerging China, an increasingly dangerous North Korea, the Syrian fight and its impacts on the Levant, a resurging Russia, the unpredictable North African coast and that continent and its region, the Middle East, the Shia, the Sunni conflict, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, the world is not any more safer. One last point, though, and this I thought was very interesting from General Dunford as he described this, and he illuminated what I think is the complexity of the next fight. You know, we tend to see conflict as black and white. That is that you're either at peace or you're at war. But as the chairman alluded to, we live somewhere in between. When you look at cyber warfare, or if you look at cyber attacks, and we continue to look at how we build offensive and defensive capabilities, you can only imagine the increased complexity. If you add in information operations, or you add in space or counter space capabilities, you can see where the modern battlefield will change, is changing. And you can see that where both state and non-state actors have those capabilities or will seek those capabilities and look for ways to exploit the vulnerability. All of this illuminates for the Marine Corps where the Marine Corps is paying attention to and why General Neller has placed such an emphasis on technology and equipment that we will need to operate on the battlefield.